Mindset, man. Yeah.
I was on the plane back from St. Martin earlier this week or this weekend. Geez, I can't even remember. The days kind of all blurred together. And I was listening to this book called Mindset by Carol Dweck, and she's a professor over at Stanford. And essentially, she goes through this concept that talks about fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And so the fixed mindset says, hey, me as a person, the skill set that I have today, here's what I'm able to accomplish going forward, right? So my dreams and my aspirations, everything fits inside of my current skill set and ability and what I know. And the growth mindset says, hey, well, the thing that I want to accomplish, my version of success, whatever that looks like, I may not necessarily have the skill set for that today. So I have to be open and moldable to, be learning these things as they come around, right? Like I'm going to be open to continuing to grow so I can get to my ultimate version of success. And so that was a little bit different because I think we always kind of think like, hey, what I know today is all that I'm capable of doing. And you don't really think a part of your plan is like, hey, when I get to this point, I know I'm going to have to start learning these future things to continue to elevate my skill set. So with that being said, I wanted to kind of ask you, what is some of the things that you felt like you had to learn that you didn't initially know, or that maybe you were scared to learn as you got to a certain level in your career?
Yeah, look, man, I think this is really interesting. Like, so in my world, like I think about this as dream big, and for a lot of agents who came through LPT, I know if you look on our website, there's a video of me giving a high school graduation speech when we renamed the Lakeland Civic Center to the RP Funding Center, and this idea of dreaming big. And I think to me, dreaming big is exactly what you're describing, Matt. It's this idea of I didn't have the skills at that time to accomplish really what I didn't know I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to do more. I knew I was willing to work hard, but I didn't really have the skill set yet. I hadn't taught myself how to program yet. I hadn't learned how to read financial statements. And for me, a lot of that stuff was self-taught, not being able to go to college because my mom got sick and having to drop out, just a lot of those adversities for my life. But when I think about that dream big concept, and it really is this idea of, yeah, I'm going to shift my mindset into growth. I'm going to think about and focus on where I want to go, not necessarily where I am today. I'm going to throw off and cast off those self-limiting beliefs. I'm going to cast off the idea that, hey, because I'm in Lakeland, Florida, a small town, I can't achieve what I want to achieve. I wasn't born in New York City or LA, or whatever those ideas are. And I think there's just this idea that we are so talented and so adaptable, and we can achieve so much more than we give ourselves credit for. One of the things that I think about a lot is like think about the ability to learn a language, right? Like we think about that as this daunting task. Like we all learned one, right? We all speak one language, but the idea of learning a second language for a lot of people can feel like a daunting task. But if you think about this, we learn how to speak when we're little, 3, 4, 5 years old. And so the idea at 3 or 4 or 5 years old, we learn this language, this super complex language, because we don't know any better. And then all of a sudden we get to later in life and life gets in the way and our self-limiting beliefs get in the way and that static mindset gets in the way. And all of a sudden we convince ourselves that we can't do again something that we literally did as toddlers. Right. And to me, that's just such an amazing example of there are no limitations, right? Anyone that's doing anything, they breathe the same air you breathe. They wake up, they put their pants on, one leg at a time. They learned how to speak when they were 4, 5, 6 years old, whatever it is as well. So don't hold yourself back. And I think for me, that was a big breakthrough to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to teach myself how to write computer software. I'm going to teach myself how to analyze and understand financial statements at a CFO level, even though I didn't go to college. A lot of these decisions that we make. And I see so much of this in real estate because we are, in my opinion, some of the greatest entrepreneurs on the planet. We wake up every day without knowing what's coming next. This isn't a business where it's like, hey, you're going to get recurring calls, right? There's a lot of industries, a lot of entrepreneurs. They have some stability of just knowing like, yeah, hey, my client base needs my services every 6 months, every year. I can count on them to call me once I build out my book, right? A dentist, I'm going to get my teeth cleaned twice a year. I'm built-in customer base. Because our sales cycle is so long, people aren't selling houses every year, buying houses every year. It can be a 7 to 10 year cycle. We wake up every day having to earn it and not knowing where that next opportunity is coming from. And I think when you put all that together, you have this perfect opportunity for us to push ourselves to do more. And then when you look at the opportunities in real estate. You can elevate your price point. You can become a team leader. You can start a team. You make all of these choices. And we built LPT to support you in that agent choice. So no matter what your definition of success is, you're able to achieve it on top of our rails. And that was always really important to me as an entrepreneur. And again, that journey of I want to get my price point up, or hey, I want to go start a team. And the next journey of, I want to have my own team office, right? Like I'm ready to move out there and spread my wings and have my own dedicated team office, and move up and grow. And maybe I'm going to move into multiple markets. There's just so many amazing ways inside of the rails that are real estate to build this entrepreneurship. There's adjacent opportunities, agents getting into, title businesses and mortgage businesses or insurance businesses, agents being able to purchase and flip homes. I've seen agents get into home building and home remodeling. Like it is such a gateway because real estate is such a critical component of everything we do. But all of that starts with exactly what you're talking about right now. It starts from getting out of this static mindset and saying, you know what, I'm going to get into the growth mindset. I'm going to think about where I want to go. I'm going to look at people like Robert and say, that's an example of someone who didn't have it all laid out for him. As I explained in that graduation speech, and figured it out and got there. And I can do that too, because if he can do it, I can do it. And I believe that because again, if a 4-year-old can learn how to speak and learn a language when as adults, we convince ourselves we can't learn that second language, we can absolutely do these things. We just have to believe in ourselves. We have to dream big and we have to have that mindset and that mindset shift and that mindset focus in the right ways. And to me, this is a big part of what Motivation Monday is about, coming on here each and every week and helping be that beacon or that proof or that little bit of spark for somebody to shift out of that static mindset, get into that growth mindset, dream a little bit bigger, and then take the amazing opportunities that are provided between LPT and our industry as a whole, and then you make of it what you want to. And to me, that's just such an amazing and rewarding and fulfilling way to look at life. And it's part of why I wake up every day excited to lead this company.
That's right, man. That is right. So thank you for that. We're going to continue to dive into that because I think it's a big topic.